Here's the latest Bitcoin news and how I'm personally profiting from that. My name's Matt. You've joined Team Bitcoin and let's go. Starting with the positive. USA Today came out with an article this weekend saying Bitcoin just became a path to home ownership. Having bought quite a few homes over the years, I can tell you one of the best things you can do to have the strongest offer is a pre-approval letter. So what that consists of is the bank going and looking at your finances, your assets, your income. And in the past, crypto was not allowed to be counted on all that application to get that letter. So why this matters is if you have an asset like Bitcoin and it's worth a considerable amount, you might qualify for more of a home, you might have get better interest rates, you might get into a home that you otherwise would not have unless you had sold your Bitcoin. So beautiful news, we're heading in the right direction, extremely positive. Second, this last weekend, 4th of July weekend, President Trump signed the big, beautiful bill. Now, whether or not you believe it's beautiful or not doesn't really matter. What matters is the debt that it's going to add to our national deficit. So it's estimated $3.3 to $5 trillion additional over the next decade. Why is that important for Bitcoin? Well, if we keep printing money to pay our debt, that starts spiraling out of control over time, and we're at that point right now, 52 years later since we got off the gold standard. Let me go to our national debt calculator, and this really hits home. Our debt for every single person in America right now is $106,000. So I have a household of about 5 people right now. Just to break even, to not have debt, just for my household is over $500,000. Now, could I write a check? I probably could, but I would wager that most of America cannot. And that number continues to go up and up. There's only one way this goes, and that is the alternative system of Bitcoin. That's why it keeps going up. I talked about that very extensively in my last video, and I don't see that changing anytime soon because we just want to spend, right? America's got a credit card. Let's go. All right. Now, CNBC further reinforces what I just said. The declining dollar faces more headwinds after posting the worst first half in 52 years. Well, ironically, that coincides with America getting off the gold standard and not backing our money. That was something Richard Nixon did way back when, and everything over time has been getting worse and worse as far as inflation, the value of our currency, so on and so forth. And again, that's why Bitcoin's going up. Now, to further reinforce that, Elon Musk confirms a new party. So we have the Republicans, the Democrats, now we have the American Party. And funny enough, I actually think that's going to be very successful, but I don't want this to be a political thing. But just like starting a new car company and the difficulty level of that, politics fall into that category as well. So why would he do that? Well, we have the right and we have the left, and we're so far apart, we can't agree on anything anymore. It's just the hopelessness of America. And so quite a few people are starting to fall in the middle, nonpartisan, and they vote on the issue, not necessarily what the political party is going to vote for. So I'm seeing this as being down the middle, but he did say in a roundabout way that he would embrace Bitcoin. Now that's interesting to me because, and I'm going to come back to this video when this happens, because it's already happened. When Elon announced a while ago that he was buying Bitcoin, it went from 42,000 in about a week up to 65,000. Literally, that happened. And the reason I know that is because I was trying to transfer money into an account to trade derivatives against Bitcoin at the time, and my account had not been fully funded. And so instead of paying in the 40,000 range for Bitcoin, I had to pay in the 60,000 range, and it kind of ticked me off. Then when Elon later sold some of it, it went back down. Now, I wouldn't be shocked because of him working on Doge and seeing what this new big beautiful bill is doing as far as a national debt, that he announces that he's buying Bitcoin again, because it is an alternative monetary system on an international scale that is not at all what's in that big beautiful bill. We'll see. I'll come back to this video if that actually happens and what it actually does to Bitcoin, which would be extremely, extremely positive. Next up, BlackRock. They have a ETF, an exchange traded fund, the most successful exchange traded fund in history. Prior to that, it was the triple Qs, QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100. The ticker symbol for this one is IBIT. I will be completely honest, I'm up about $65,000 on it right now in a month to 6 weeks. Now, these are not atypical returns. Once I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll actually share with you how I'm doing that. But this article here basically says that as Bitcoin surges 500% faster than any other ETF. That's how successful this has been. 5x. It's insane. And I remember how successful the triple Qs were, and I still trade that 25 or so years later. Amazing, amazing stuff. So BlackRock, home run, positive for Bitcoin, because what is BlackRock doing? When you trade this fund, IBIT, which is about $61 a share, BlackRock has to buy Bitcoin. They're pulling a page out of MicroStrategy, and right now they're not selling what they're buying. So if there's outflows in IBIT, BlackRock's just keeping them, and they have the assets to back that up. So they won't be forced liquidated. Amazing, amazing stuff. Now, on a negative note, or potentially negative, a crypto wallet woke up this weekend. This is all over the internet. This particular article is from Tom's Hardware. An investor moved, or an early adopter of Bitcoin, moved $8 billion worth of crypto that's been idle for the last 14 years. Now, let me tell you, that takes some cojones to hold Bitcoin that long through all the ups and downs, but it's equivalent of about 80,000 Bitcoin. Now, why could this be a potential negative? If that was a hack and $8 billion worth of crypto was stolen, oh my God, who lost it? That would be the question. Or it could be a positive. It could just be one of the original adopters is consolidating it. Maybe they're making a major purchase. Maybe they're transferring it into a different hardware wallet. I don't know the reason why they're moving stuff around. Maybe they want to buy Microsoft. I have no idea. But that is an insane... Actually, let me see what Microsoft's worth. What is micro? M-I-C-R-O-S-O-F-T worth today? Not the stock price. 3.7 trillion. Okay, well, no, you couldn't buy Microsoft, but you could buy, I don't know, a fraction of the company. But anyway, 8 billion is a lot of money. Now, if you want to stay in tune with the latest crypto news, I will share that with you daily. I encourage you to like and subscribe. We'll see you again tomorrow.